Okay, I was going to do a quick video on cutting lye soap. I had made some old-fashioned lard lye soap, just like your great-grandmother used to make. And I started to do a video on making it. I videotaped me mixing the lye together, the lime water, and then heating the oils, the lard, and then I let it cool. And when I came back, I forgot the video again, so I did not video the entire segment or entire process. So I did want to bring you and show you me cutting it. This is my mold that I use. This is one that my husband and I made together. It just has hinges and little wires here that you can pop the sides down, but I do line it, so I don't need to do that unless I have to, but I don't normally have to. I just lift it out just like that, and then I just remove the mold out of the way. I have to I don't use the towel. The towel I use to insulate it, just to keep it nice and warm while it's cooling down. Then I'm going to actually just take off the paper that I have on it. Two pieces on each end, one piece on each end, and flip it over. And then I just kind of start it. And this is just, like I said, a plain lard soap. It is, there's nothing added to it, no fragrances, no oatmeal, none of the extra stuff. I had a customer who wanted some for laundry detergent, and this is, like their great grandmother used to make, and this is what they're used to using, and they were having trouble getting it. So I agreed that that I would make it for them. So as you see, have a long bar here of soap. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut it into bars. I don't have one of those cutters where you just go down with a little wire and it cuts the bar. I just use the little rippled slicer. Some people don't. Some people use the straight blade. I just prefer the little rippled blade. It helps with the lather and the suds. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my scale here. I'm going to turn it on, and I'm going to tear it out. That way it goes to 0. I like to kind of keep track of the size of my bar so that I know if I'm going a little bit too big or a little bit too small. I like to keep them around 5 ounces. I cut them 5.5 to 6 ounces so that when they dry, they will be usually around 5 ounces. So what I do is I just kind of come here, hold it nice and straight, hold the bar with my other hand, and then I just slice it. And then I have a nice bar. And of course, this is the end piece, so you're going to have the flat. I don't worry about that, but you're going to have the nice cut there. This one is 5.6, so that's fine. And then what I do is I just lay them back at the back to kind of get it out of my way. I'm going to go a little bit bigger just because if it dries out, I don't want the bars to end up too small. And this is a little hard. I should have actually cut it this morning, but I had some other things that I was doing. I'm working on cleaning and seasoning some cast iron pots. So I had that going on this morning. This one's 5.9. That's like actually perfect. So I'm going to continue to cut. Yes, the pots, I bought a skillet, the cast iron skillet, and it was in some pretty bad shape, and I tried to clean it up, and it wasn't cleaning up as nicely as I'd hoped. So, and this one's 5.6. So what I did is I got in touch with someone who kind of guided me on what I needed to do. And I tried cleaning it. It was just going to be a chore. The more I cleaned, it seemed like the more came off of it. So what I did is I put it in a lye bath, and I'm going to actually keep it in the lye bath for a couple days until I'm happy with the way it looks. And then I'll take it out. And this one's 6.2, so it's a little bit too heavy, but that's okay. We'll just go a little bit smaller. And this is going to be cheaper than the regular soaps that I sell, because of it's not going to have any essential oils. That's 6.1. There are no essential oils, no coconut, no cocoa butter, no shea butter, no extra virgin olive oil. And it doesn't have any of that extra stuff that I normally put in my other soaps, because this customer does not want that. They want just the plain 6.6, a little too big. And I need to invest in one of the, I think it's Bud. His name's Bud. Bud's Cutters. But this has worked, and the only reason I haven't is because I really like the rippled effect. And his cutter doesn't give you the rippled effect, even though it's a really, really nice cutter. People love them. A lot of people buy them. I just really like the rippled effect that this cutter, this slicer does. I mean, here's the bar. You see it's nice and thick. And this one is 6.7. I need to go a little smaller. And what I need to do is I need to have I've seen some people have a mat that they mark, and when they put their loaf of soap on it, they have little marks so they know where to go. This one's 5.8. They know exactly where to slice, but I haven't done that. I usually don't worry about it too much. And this is really hard. Whew. That's going to be a big one. Oh, 7.2. And what I do too is if a person buys more, I'll pair, if they buy a couple bars, what I usually do is pair a really oversized bar with a bar that's a little undersized, so it works out. But if it doesn't work out that way, I don't worry about it. This one's a 6.2. And I'm excited about this soap. This is the first time, I think this is the first time that I've ever made it. I might have made it one time before as a special order. But I haven't made it where I was going to actually sell it to the public. I mean, to like whoever wants it. So this is 6.3. So that's what I'm going to do with this one. The customer doesn't want all of it, so I'm going to sell the rest to whoever wants it. Now, I advertise it on Facebook. A friend of mine who sells my soaps in her store, she said for me to bring it up there, and she'll try to sell it too. So I'll probably do that. I won't let the soap get this hard again, because it's just really harder than what I normally have. That's 6.2. You can see I just kind of eye it and hold it with one hand. If I don't hold it with one hand, this hand, it tends to slip, and then the bars end up, and they're not, it doesn't go straight down. They're wider on the bottom or smaller on the bottom than they are on the top. So that's 6.2. $6.1. 6.3. This one I think I am going to cut a little piece off because I just want to try this myself. So I'm going to try it. There we go. 6.6. So then I'll have a little bar here that that I will try myself to see how I like it. Because like I said, I don't normally make this kind without all the other extra added stuff in it. But I ended up with 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. I ended up with 18 bars. Normally I end up with 20. But since these didn't have the any of the extra stuff, I wanted to do bigger bars. So I ended up with the 18 bars. So I'm excited about that, ready to get those cured. I'll leave them here and let them cure for a couple days until I feel like they're nice and hard. And they're really hard already. So, but I'll let them cure out before I bag them up and box them up and get them in the car ready to go. But I hope you enjoyed that. I will try next time to bring you back and let you see the entire video. And what I do with these little pieces here is I usually end up, I throw them in my washing machine. And that way it helps with washing the clothes so they're not wasted. But while I have you, I was going to show you a little bit of my worms. I am making worm castings. There's my little guy coming in. Yes, what you need?
The guy. Is that the guy?
No, Mommy's videoing to watch me cutting Mommy's soap. Now we're looking at the worms. We just created this bed not too long ago.
Mama.
Yes, sir.
Can I get my helicopter? And Mama, look at me.
I see you. Can you get your helicopter and your motorcycle? It's on the bar in the kitchen. Go get it.
Can I get my motorcycle, my helicopter, and my glove? No, I want my motorcycle and my gloves.
Okay, you know where they are. Go get them. Anyway. Okay. Anyway, this is the worms. What I did is I just used shredded up newspaper and make sure it's really, really wet. A little bit of dirt out the edge of the woods and a bunch of leaves. And you wet it down really nicely. Let it sit overnight so it's nice and there's not water like puddled in the bottom. Then I introduce the worms just on the top and just dump them right on the top, and they will make their way down and get comfortable in there. And what I do is I feed them in a certain corner so that they are working that corner. And I started off feeding them here. If I kind of pull it back, you can't really, I don't know if you can see it, but there's some worms down in there. But I have also moved over here, and you can see the food. I hope you can. Yeah, you can see the food right down in here, right here. I put in some grits, and then I used the blender and blended up some watermelon that was left over, and some sweet potatoes, some different things that I had that were going to be tossed out. And I just put them in the spot, cover it up. You know, you try not to dig around in them to you don't want to stress them out. And I was keeping them outside under the garage, and they don't bother anything. They don't come out or anything. I have the little holes in the top so that they can get air in there. But I was keeping them outside, and I let them get too hot in the garage, so I decided I was bringing them in. So as you can see, I have two containers here underneath the table in my laundry room. And they just stay there, and I feed them once a week. And we try not to bother them. And then whenever they're done processing all of the stuff in there, I'll have a full bucket of worm castings that I'll use in my garden and for my plants. And then I'll just start another bucket, another container. I'll put more fresh newspaper, more leaves, a little bit of dirt, make sure it's really, really damp. And then I'll move the worms. And I'll try to show you that next time. So, well, I think that covers it. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will bring you back another time when I am making soap.